Ooh. Yeah, there you go. What the? How do you even? That shouldn't fit there. Oh. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Hey, come in.
Hey,
come
man,
in.
I'm here about the camera job.
Oh, yeah, for the camera. Yeah. So I've
What you working on over there?
No, don't worry about this stuff. This is nothing at all. Business stuff.
Okay.
But hey, I've already got the camera set up. We've got lights all up and running. I'm ready to record for the first video if you want.
This is
and
the camera you're
yeah,
working
that's
with?
the camera right over there. Go ahead and if you need to get acquainted, I know
Ain't much
fancy
to get
equipment and all.
acquainted with. Yeah, that's real fancy.
It's older, but I mean it's a Canon.
Man, this thing might as well be an antique.
But
Most YouTubers use Sony's.
color science.
Color science. You don't even got 4K.
Well, no, it's 1080.
Man, if you're not going to take this seriously, I don't think I can. I'm out of here.
Wait. No, don't. Okay, bye. That was fucking weird. Back to looking at cameras on eBay. Welcome back, guys, to Faux Rhino. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you saw in the intro, we need a little bit of an upgrade. You're looking at me through a 1080p screen, and that is not acceptable for 2025.
High quality 4K streaming video.
So what I have here is our solution to that problem. So I started looking on eBay the other day, and also was looking on Japanese eBay, or what we like to call Bai, which is an auction site straight from Japan, and wanted to see if I could find some deals. So I actually bought a couple of cameras here. Both of these were listed as not working. So these are going to be for parts only cameras. There's no guarantee that they're actually working or that even any of the parts are going to be good in them. But my hope here is that combining these two cameras, I can take about $300 worth of busted parts and turn them into an about $600 workable camera that I can then use for YouTube. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. As you can see, I have already opened these.
That guy stings.
Sorry, we'll still get the unboxing experience here. The first box that we have here is an item that I got directly from eBay US. This seller was out of, I wanna say Colorado. And again, it was a camera shop. They had this item in. There's the camera itself, and nothing else in here, just some junk. But they had this item listed on eBay. The buy it now price was like 250 bucks. I threw them an offer for $125, and they immediately said no. So I threw another offer for 150, and they came back and said no. So I threw a third offer for 175 bucks, and I was like, that's my final offer, not going any higher. I'm gonna get this camera cheap and I'm gonna fix it. They said no, but hey, we'll take 190. So that's what I got it for. 190 bucks, a little bit of tax, and I got what we see here, which is a Panasonic Lumix GH5. Now this is one of the earliest 4K UHD cameras that could shoot in full 10-bit, meaning that it gets a lot of really good colors. It can shoot in full 10-bit and has some image stabilization, so it's a really good older camera for YouTube shoots, for just something where you want to be able to kind of get that clarity. Not the best camera for walking around and shooting, so it's not going to be necessarily your favorite point and shoot. Just because, again, it's a little clunky, it's a little old, and the shutter speed, not the fastest in the world. So still a great camera. These came out in 2013. They have a fold-out 3-inch LCD here, along with an electronic viewfinder. You'll see this one is actually missing the shoe that normally goes over the top of that. And this one was, again, sold as not working. They didn't really have any details on it, so I didn't know if there was maybe water damage, if they had tried to fix it. So really just kind of going into this one blind. Camera looks to be in okay condition. You'll see right up top here, some of the grip is missing, and this is something pretty common I saw when I was looking at these used GH5s. The grips start to wear out with time, and they kind of bubble up, and it looks like this person just went ahead and removed it completely. We have on the side here our SD card slot. Again, normally would be covered in rubber, but this one's had a lot of use in its day. One of the good things about these GH5s is that they are weather sealed. So even if somebody used this one hard, they were out in the rain with it, should still in theory be good on the inside. They're of course not for underwater shooting, but again, most people aren't going to take an expensive camera underwater. So this is our first camera, but you'll notice that I had a second box here. Let's move some of this out of the way. Our second box comes straight from Bai in Japan.
That come from Japan.
And Bai, if you don't know, is an auction site similar to eBay that we have here in the US. But these cameras, because they were made by Panasonic and originally exported from Japan, you can actually get them a little cheaper over there sometimes. You're not paying those import taxes, or at least you weren't when these came out, 2025.
A tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which...
A little bit different of a deal, but nonetheless, I wanted to see what I could get. So I found this camera, and this camera is actually said to be working. The seller listed it as 4 parts, said that it was working, it would turn on, but there was some kind of an issue with the shutter. Again, common issue with these cameras, and it's something that's actually pretty easy to fix.
You don't know how wrong you are.
Sometimes there's a screw in these that just gets a little loose. It ends up falling down into the shutter, and it won't allow the shutter to fully actuate, which causes an error message. So this one here, I'll go ahead and toss my custom paperwork because we don't need to see that. But this camera came all the way from overseas. Not as well packaged, I might add, just some paper in here, but thick enough cardboard.
She was pretty thick.
And again, these things are kind of tanks, so I wouldn't expect to see much damage on this. Now, taking a look at these two side by side, the one from the Japanese seller looks, at first glance, to be potentially in better condition. You'll see that there's no issues with the rubber grips around here. The battery door actually has its rubber on it. But when we take a closer look at these two cameras next to each other, we see that there's actually some pretty obvious signs of water damage and wear on this one, and it's really been beaten. So my hope here was to use this camera, which I knew had some external defects, combine it with this camera, which again I knew had some kind of a defect, and make one good working camera. I'm not so sure that's gonna happen now. So the camera that I got from Japan, I'll go ahead and take it up to our top view here. If you can see inside of the sensor here, and I'll get it a little bit closer for you, you may notice that there's a little area of what looks to be chipped glass. So if I take my screwdriver here and I'll point this out for you so you can see, right down in this lower corner,
gotta focus,
there's some chipped glass, and that is actually an infrared cut filter that is normally over the top of these, and it keeps the sensor nice and clean and makes sure that you don't have issues with dirt and debris and dust. Somehow, the person or company or whoever owned this before me shattered that. Not only shattered that, but actually broke part of the shutter. I can see, you probably won't be able to see this. I'll try and get a close-up and insert it in here. There's a gash taken out of the shutter, and there's pieces of glass in between the second filter and the actual sensor itself. I don't have a lot of hope that this camera is going to come back to life. Unfortunately, the seller, they said that it turned on. I'm going to test that here in a second. I actually haven't tested that at all yet. They said it turned on, but did have a shutter defect, and again, that's what I was hoping to be able to fix. This camera shouldn't work at all, so we're going to test both and kind of see where we stand. So something that I got for these cameras that I like to use anytime I'm going to have a camera sitting on a tripod, similar to what I've got in front of me here, is a dummy battery. So these dummy batteries, they have all of the contacts that the camera will have, but on the other end, they usually have some form of either a DC jack, or in this case, it has a USB PD power supply on the end, and you can plug this directly into a USB power bank and extend the length of the battery on these cameras, giving you essentially infinite shoot time if you have a big enough battery. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm kind of curious
I'm a curious woman.
on the Japanese camera because, again, they said it was working. So I'm going to set that one off to the side because curiosity killed the cat. And we're going to check out the one from the US first. So again, taking a look at this, not much to go off of based on what I've already shown y'all. Let's just plug her in and see what we can find. So opening up the battery compartment here, this one does look to be in a little bit better condition. I'm not seeing any kind of like corrosion on the contacts. Doesn't seem to be salt buildup like unfortunately we see on the Japanese model here. But let's go ahead and we're gonna pop our dummy battery in here. And when you have a dummy battery in, you've got a cable here so you can't just close the door on it. They actually will give you a little slot. Usually this is just a rubber piece that you can kind of pop through and then your cable will fall right in there. And then we can go ahead and lock it in. So let's flip this screen around and go ahead and plug her in and see what happens. So I'll plug it into my USB power supply here. Awesome little power supply actually. That thing supplies up to 260 watts worth of power. It's currently powering my MacBook and now this camera. So I guess there's nothing to do but power. Hey, that's cool. We actually have a green power light. Now, doesn't look like we actually have any signs of life here. There's nothing showing up on the screen. Wonder what happens. Hey, that wasn't bad. If you caught that up here on our top cam, I think I have a shutter. I'll be darned. So again, this camera was sold as not working, but at least the shutter works, which I would think means that somehow other stuff in here works as well. This does have an electronic viewfinder, so if it's just an issue with the screen, in theory, I can go ahead and put my eye up to this and I'm not seeing it. Oh, wait, there it goes. It takes it a second, but I've got an EVF. I'm not seeing any image out of the camera right now because I don't have a lens on it, but I am able to click through in the menus and it's actually coming through really clear in here. Let's put a lens on this. I'm a little curious now. Again, this is the one that wasn't supposed to be working. The one that is supposed to be working really doesn't look like it's going to. But let's see what we can find out here. So this camera takes a micro 4/3 style lens. I just so happen to have one laying around at home from an old Olympus camera that I haven't used in years, an Olympus Pen EP1, I believe. Very first Olympus camera that came out, kind of blew my mind when I was like 18 years old and they came out. Wow, I'm aging myself there. And this thing, they used the camera, and it was a really tiny micro 4/3 camera, to shoot the commercial for the camera.
The most amazing thing about the new Olympus pen is that this commercial was shot with one.
So I was like, if it's good enough for a commercial, it must be good enough for me, and it wasn't. The camera took horrible video, but the lens may be coming in handy years later. So I'm gonna pop this guy on here. Let's go ahead and pop that in. I saw the lens move. That tells me there might be something going on with life here, and if I look through, hey, I've got an image, and it is even auto-focusing. I think I got a working camera here. It is telling me that there's no memory cards, but it does appear to be taking pictures without any trouble at all. That is crazy. Okay, so what we may have here in this case is just a bad rear screen. And in fact, it's usually on these not a bad rear screen. I've done some research into the issues and the common issues with these, so I'd be prepared for this. But what happens is the screen here, there's a ribbon cable that runs through this hinge, this articulating hinge. And the screen cable will actually break or degrade, or dust and dirt can get in there and can actually cause it to no longer function. So this may be as simple as replacing some basic body components to make it look good, not even necessary, and replacing the screen. Won't really know until I get in there, but so far this is looking like a good buy. Let's pull our battery, or dummy battery, out rather, and let's go ahead and set this guy to the side. I'm a little afraid to even put a lens on this camera. There is so much dirt and grime inside of this lens face that I don't know how somebody could be this mean to a camera. This is just cruel and unusual. It also, now that I'm looking at it, it looks like the image sensor, maybe that's just part of the shutter, but it looks like the image sensor might actually be sideways inside of there. So someone very well could have taken this apart before, tried to fix it, messed it up even more, and put it back together. So I guess we'll find that out here in a few minutes. Let's see what happens though when I put a battery in it. It was kind of sketchy, not gonna lie. I'm not thrilled to see what this shutter looks like. Again, I was kind of just hoping this was a loose screw, but I think the person who sold it to me may have had a screw loose because this has more damage than any camera I've ever seen. Let's go ahead and turn it on. I do get a green LED. That's surprising. Oh, I'm afraid to do this. This is, turn it the regular shutter. Okay, it doesn't even try to shutter. Okay. Well, I guess that's good. With how much gunk there is in there, I don't think I would want it to try. That was just a for science thing, but
For science.
let's see if the screen works on this one, because the images from the auction did show a working screen. And yes, I do have a working screen here. A little worse for wear. It's got some marks on it, and it is speaking to me in Japanese currently. Again, this is a Japanese direct market.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Camera, so that's probably why I am getting this. And can I get into the menu? No, I cannot. Maybe if I change it into manual mode? No. Okay, we're going to turn it off. Let's turn it back on. Oh, hey, we can set the time. It's not 2017. Okay, I can't set a time anymore. Let me pull out Google Lens and see if I can figure out what this Japanese writing is. All right, we're going to skip the Spanish because I am going straight to camera mode, open camera, and we are going to change this to Japanese. I don't know much.
I don't know much, but I know this.
But I do know that this is, in fact, Japanese. And I needed to go to English because I no habla español.
Ay, Dios mío.
ABC English. There we go. Got it. Okay. So if I point this at here, it should tell me what that says. And it says, please turn the power back on.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
All right. I have seen this error message before. This is the common one when there is an issue with the shutter, saying, please turn the power back on. When I turn it on immediately, it says, it's not going to tell me. Okay. Thank you, Google Translate. It's, don't have the best signal here, and I don't have the language pack downloaded, so I guess it's taking it a second each time it goes to recognize this, and it's not catching the first error message that pops up. So if I happen to get anyone who ever watches this who speaks and or reads Japanese, feel free to tell us what that says. I've got a feeling it says like, oh, hey, I can see this. That was weird. I bet you it says set the time and date, because whenever I hit the menu button, it took me into the time and date. So this might be a little bittersweet. Oh, look, we've got some, I don't know what that is. That's gross. I'm gonna go wash my hands.
Oh, that's nasty.
After this. But yeah, it looks like we do actually have a working screen here, so this might still work out. If I can take the screen ribbon out of this busted, really, really gross camera, put it into this one, and actually some of these body rubbers are pretty good condition too. They need some cleaning, they're dirty, but I think I can go ahead and salvage the parts that I need out of this and put them into this one and make a working camera. Let's get to it.
To be continued.
Totes, can't wait.